Hello everyone, welcome. Today we'll be talking about Docker Compose. So this project will be installing WordPress and MySQL using Docker and Docker Compose on AWS EC2. So let me give you a brief introduction. Docker is an open source platform that allows you to automate the deployment and management of applications within lightweight isolated containers. Containers are portable, self-contained environments that includes all the necessary components to run an application. Docker simplifies the deployment process and promotes scalability and productivity. While Docker Compose is a tool that allows you to define and manage multi-container applications. It uses a YAML file to simplify the services, networks, and volumes required by your application. With Docker Compose, you can start, stop, and scale your application with a single command, ensuring consistent deployment across different environments. It helps you easily spin up applications in your environment, applications in containers in your environment. So this project, looking at our diagram, you can see that this is our AWS cloud, and then we spin up an EC2 instance. And inside this instance, we are going to install our Docker Compose, and then write pull down an image, which the images would be WordPress and MySQL. And they use Docker Compose to spin it up and bring it down. Also, this EC2 instance will be connected to an elastic IP address, and then you can access it through this IP address. So these are the steps we'll be taking. So the first step would be we would spin up an EC2 instance and add elastic IP. So we'll come to our dashboard. I hope everyone already has an EC2. Already has an AWS account. Let's spin up our instance. Launch. So we'll name this WordPress. Ubuntu. We are going to be using Ubuntu Server 22.04. Instance type T2 Micro. Keep yes. Then we create our security group. So this security group will have SSH, HTTPS, and HTTP traffic running through it. The name of this will be launch wizard 2. So click on this and then create launch instance. Instance is launching. So it has been successfully launched. Go to your instance and you can see that it is pending. Instance state is still pending. So let's go and let me show you. So look at our IP address. This has, when you launch an instance, it usually comes with a public IP and a private IP address. So looking at this now, whenever you launch and then you turn off the instance, you get this thing, this IP changes from this to another one. So in this case, we would have to create an elastic IP and attach it to this instance so that even when you spin up the instance, the IP address still remains the same. So our instance state is our instance is already running right now. So let's go to our elastic IP and create one. So you click on allocate after I come to elastic IP, allocate elastic IP address, then allocate. Now that it has been allocated, highlight it and associate elastic IP address to your instance. Now these are instance. We named our instance WordPress, right? So this is it. We now add our private IP. The private IP doesn't change for any instance. So we associate. Now let's go back to our instance and see. This is the allocated one. Let's confirm. This ends with 204, right? Elastic IP 204. So now our instance is running and our elastic IP has been connected to it. So the next step for us to do is to connect to our instance. So we will be using git bash. So here is my terminal, and my key pair is downloaded into this downloads here. So wherever your key pair is, cd into that file, and then let's start. So to connect, you write you type ssh -i -i this, and then the name of your key pair. My key pair is kp dot pm, right? At Ubuntu. The name of the server is Ubuntu. Okay, not at, remove this at. The at is supposed to be after the Ubuntu. At your IP address. So you copy the IP address allocated and paste and connect. Yes. So now we are successfully SSH into our server. So once you launch a new server, the first thing for you to do is to update the server. Yeah. So um sudo apt update. I'm still updating. Okay, so now that is done, we install our Docker. Docker installation can be complex at times. So we'll be using sudo apt install docker.io -y. It's still installing. Okay, so let's check the version. Okay, so it's Docker version 24. So the next thing is for us to start our Docker. So we type sudo systemctl Start Docker. So the next is let's check the status. Sudo system ctl status Docker. So you can see it's up and running. Control C to leave. And so right now we'll be testing if our Docker works. So let's do this. We'll be testing it with the container. So we'll type sudo Docker container run -d. So this -d means it's running in the background. The name of the image we are pulling. Then -p, it's running on port 8080. HTTPA. So moving enter. So now you can see it's pulling the image and then creating our Docker container. So our container has been created. Let's see the name of let's see the name of the container. Sudo Docker PS. Okay, so the name of the container ID is this, ending with BA3. The name is web server. So let's check our IP address and see what is running on. Copy this. This is the IP address. Copy it and paste. Yes. Okay, so this is it. It works. So let's go back to our terminal and check what is inside the container to verify. So we're back in our terminal. To verify what is in our Docker, in our Docker container, we type sudo Docker exec. So now we are moving into our container. Web server /bin/bash. Okay, missed hyphen or dash. Okay, so it's sudo docker exec dash it web server /bin/bash. Going. Okay, so now you can see we are in our container. Looking at this, look at the container ID. It's the same with this. So now with that being said, let's check what is in our container. Let's switch L. So we have this. We have all this. All like this. Okay. So now we are going to move into our htdocs. So we see into our htdocs and this. So we have an index.html file. That is where our it works is. So let's cut and see what's inside the index.html. Okay, so now you can see it works. It works exactly like what is here. So now this is just an example to show that it's working. So the next thing for us to do is to remove this container. So To leave a container, you type exits and leave. So let's remove this demo container. So we do sudo docker container stop, the name of the container, web server. Okay, now that stopped, so let's remove it. Sudo docker container rm means remove web server. So let's see if our docker container is still there. Sudo docker ps. So there's no docker container, but the image should still be here. So let's say sudo docker images. So this is our image. So let's remove it as well, just for removing sake. So do sudo docker rmi. Rmi means remove image. Then copy this image ID. Paste. Then if you enter, it will be removed. Let's leave it here first because I need to still show you more. So now the next step is for us to install our Docker Compose. So let's see, refresh this. You can see it's complete out. So what we'll be doing is let's go and install Docker Compose. Come here, standalone, and copy this. Go back to your terminal and paste. So now if you can see, we are at our Ubuntu and at the home page. So enter. Okay, so this was not successful. Let's try another one. Okay, so we have this coil HTTPS. Okay, let's enter. Okay, so this was successful. So if you notice the difference between this one, the first one we copied and this one. The second one, we changed this V to V.26.1. We changed it to 1.29.2. That's the version. And then instead of outlining the names like this, limits and all, we change it to this. Now this was successful. So the next thing for us to do is to go into this folder. User/local/bin. Let's go into it. CD into user/local/bin. So let's list what is in it. Now we can see our Docker Compose. However, this Docker Compose does not have execution right. It has just read and write and read. There's no execution here. So let's change the permission it has. So we'll go with sudo chmod plus x/user/local. Okay, we are already in the directory, so that is not even necessary. Writing the whole part is not necessary, so we'll do that and do Docker compose. Let's see. Now let's recheck our ls. Okay, so now you can see it has execution right now. Read, write, execution. Okay, yeah. So now let's go back to, so now before we go back, yeah, you're going to, there's something called symbolic link. Symbolic link makes it possible to run Docker compose command from any directory in your system without specifying its path. It essentially creates a shortcut to the Docker compose executable in a location that is included in the system's path variable, allowing you to execute the command from anywhere in the terminal. So this is going to be our symbolic link. So you run this command sudo ln-s /user/local/bin. So this is our symbolic link. Enter. Then cd back. So now we are at the home page of our Ubuntu. Next thing is let's check our version. So it's going to be Docker compose -- version. Okay, so now look at it. This is the version we've downloaded, just like what I showed you earlier. So the next thing for us to do is to create our Docker compose YAML file. So like I said earlier, a Docker compose, you need to create a YAML file. And it's that YAML file that's going to be, that's where you're going to write your configuration, and that's where the system tends to pull your image from, and all the configuration. If you want it to link, you want it to connect to your database and all, it's written there. Your network is there as well. So you write all your configuration into that file. So the next thing for us to do is to create a file, which is, we use touch in Linux, touch docker -compose .yaml. So when creating this file, it's just use it with this name. I don't just use it with this name. I don't think you can change it, because Docker compose is going to look for this file name docker compose.yaml. You could use YML, but in this case I'm using YML. So I've created it. Go into your Docker file. .yml. So now we are in the Docker file that we just created, and it's empty. So time for us to get our configuration for our WordPress and MySQL. So what we will do is, let me take you to Docker Hub. This is where our images are. The Docker has a place stored, a site where all these images are on. So we come here, Docker Hub, and so we want to get the image of WordPress and MySQL. So let's do WordPress. So you can see we have over 1 billion downloads or posts, and then we have just last week we have over, what is this, 3.9 million. You click on WordPress, scroll down. So this is our image. You scroll down, and this is our configurations normally. So if you want to write your docker.yaml, these are the configurations you need to put in there. So if you scroll down, you will see this. Okay, so this is an example. This is the Docker YAML for WordPress. So we'll be using this. We'll copy this now, take it here, and paste it into our file that we just created, our Docker compose YAML file. So I think I paste. Okay, so now this is pasted. Now, what this tells you is that this is the version and this is the service. So we'll be calling WordPress, and this the image. The name of the image is WordPress. We restart always. So this restarts is whenever if it comes down, if your Docker Compose comes down, if your container comes down, it should restart automatically. So this is the port. So in this case, we will change because we'll be making some little changes. So we change this to 80, but 80, 80. So the environments, we have WordPress DB host. This is to connect to your database. So this DB is the name of your database here. So we are connecting as DB user, example user, WordPress DB password, example, the WordPress database password will be example pass. WordPress DB name will be example.db. If you want to run this for production, it's advisable that you change this, but in this case, we'll be leaving it like this. So we have our volumes. Then our DB, our database is, you can see the image is MySQL. Restart always again. So these are the passwords. So I would also want to add I want to add the name of the container. So I would have under this yeah, image restart. Okay, we'll have this. So I want to name the container this, and then the container for my WordPress this, and then let's scroll down again. So I would add container, another name for the container of my database, and it will be this name. Then scroll down and still volumes. Under these volumes, I want you to add this as well. And this. So I think this is good to go now. Okay, so this random root password, this just is just a form of security to ensure that the root password is changed randomly. So the next is for us to save this file. So let's escape on right click bank enter. Okay, so our file has been created and we've written our configuration. So let us run our container and see. So the next will be running sudo docker compose up. Okay, so now you can see it's putting our images down. So it's still okay. So now let us check. Okay, ready connection. Okay, we're connected. So now let us check our IP address. So this is our IP, yeah? Let's refresh it and see. Okay, so our WordPress installation is live. So the next thing is let us, okay. So if we look at our diagram, we have done our install Docker and test. So now we've installed Docker, we installed Docker Compose. We've written our Docker Compose and YAML and spin up. Now we are here. So yeah, we come here and continue. English, let's say the name of our site, username, let's see, password, and just use something I can remember. Confirm email. Then discourage search engine optimization and install WordPress. Yep. So we're logged in. Let's log in back. Name was okay. Password was sugar. Okay. Okay. So now our WordPress has been created. This is our dashboard, and let's see. Click here to see the home page. Okay. So this is the home page here. Now you can start customizing this. I just want to show you one more thing. Now, if we try to, if if you just want to change things here, you can easily change it. This is a very simple way. Simple websites. Yeah. However, when you want to do a major customization, like maybe you want to use Elementor, all those page builders, I know. Because we used our server is running on it, it's on T2. You can see it's running on T2 micro. T2 micro. When you try that, it's going to hook. You understand? So what I want to do is I want to I want us to stop this instance and increase our EC2. So to increase this instance type, so I want us to increase it to a bigger instance type. So this is called vertical scaling. So vertical scaling is when you increase the resources to something bigger. Sometimes when your server cannot hold it, you vertical scaling. And then, there's also something called horizontal scaling. But in this case, horizontal scaling is when you maybe have to do auto scaling where it multiplies. But in this case, we are doing vertical scaling by increasing this. So the only way you can do this is by stopping this instance first. So now, stop this instance completely. So now you see the whole essence of stop adding the IP address, because that's it. Once it's finished up, once it stops completely. Okay, it's still stopping. So we can't connect yet. Let's refresh and see. Yeah, that's completely stopped. Okay. So now it's stopped completely. So to do this, you have to come to actions, instance settings, instance type. So we will be going for, we'll see, T2 extra large. Okay, so this is not under free tier. Let's go, apply. Okay, so you've applied it. This is vertical scaling. So let's turn it on. Okay, so now it's still turning on. Okay, so now it's running. Now let's look at our IP address. You can see that it's still the same IP address, hence it's 204. So now let's go back to our instance and refresh. Okay, so everything is working well now. So I would want us to install certain things. So we'll be installing this theme. Install, activate, and after installing the theme, let's see what it's going to look like. This is what we have now. Then on to plugins. Add a new plugin. Name it search for a new plugin called starter templates. Install. Activate. Okay. Okay, so let's explore templates. I'll just load in. So let's import one of this. I'll import this site. Put your details. I'm assuming we are beginners. So let's say beginners, myself, You can also change it to whatever you want. Then now we are installing, now we are building your website. This is just an easy way to import a website. Okay, so now it's done. Let's view our site now. Okay, so this is the imported site we just did. So the whole essence of this is to show you this last part is to show you the whole vertical scaling. So when you go back to your dashboard, you have your website. So you can install your website. So now if you want to turn off your this thing, your Docker. Okay, so let's log in back. Because when we turned it off, it's disconnected. So now, if you want to turn off, so you can bring it down by writing Docker plus the compose down. Remember to add your sudo. Okay, so when you do Docker compose down, it removes all your container. It deletes it actually. Docker, let's check. Docker PS, nothing. Docker PS action A, still nothing. Now, let me go through here. Let's check. We see that it's down. Yeah, let's turn it back up again. So it's going to be sudo docker compose. Now, if you put Docker compose up, you can see it running. You see all your configuration stuff running, but then you have to do Control C to stop it. But if you want it to run in the background without having to see all this plenty write-ups, Docker compose up -d. So you can see now that started. This is just a little command that should have started. You go back and check your this thing, your IP address, and you can see it's live. You can see it's live. Then you can start editing or doing whatever you want to do. So looking at this, our steps have been completed. All of it has been completed. Thanks. If you want to customize, you can now start customizing this. Bye. And so on. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.